What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Bamboos, and welcome to the first solo podcast, episode 1. Just want to kind of, get a good discussion going. Want to talk about gaming, movies, TV. I'm gonna break this shit down into gaming, movies, and TV, as I just said, repeating myself already. But we're not gonna restart this shit. We're gonna keep it going. So the reason I'm doing this is because a lot of shit's actually gone down in the gaming community over the last week or so, and I wanted to kind of sit down and discuss it. And I like to listen to podcasts myself when I'm laying down at night or if I'm driving. So if you guys are driving, whatever, plug in the aux and we'll listen to this shit. All right, starting off with the gaming news. Starting off with a little bit of PC news. Destiny 2 is free on PC, and I believe until the 18th. So y'all got like 5 more days to go cop Destiny 2 if you want it. I actually just downloaded it, and on my mid-rig gaming PC, you guys can see the gameplay here. Like, it actually looks and runs beautiful on my just average gaming PC. It is fucking well optimized. Destiny 2 is very well optimized on PC. I'm very surprised, and I've got a little bit of an MMO itch right now that Destiny 2 might be able to scratch just a little bit. So even if you guys don't have a great gaming PC, download Battle.net, make an account, and at least install it, or get it onto your Battle.net account. So one day, if you do have a great PC, you can go back on and play Destiny 2. It doesn't include the DLC, but I might end up buying the DLC if I get back into this game. I played the original, vanilla Destiny 2 on the PS4, and I wish there was a way to transfer my characters. There might be, actually. I'll have to do some looking into it, but I have 3 max level characters from vanilla Destiny 2 on PS4 that I haven't touched that since any of the DLCs dropped. But this game controls and plays and looks beautiful on PC. So definitely go ahead and get that on your Battle.net account. That way you can play Destiny 2. Even like I said, if you don't have a great PC now, later on down the line you might, and it'll be on there waiting for you. And going along with free games, Crackdown, the original Crackdown is free on Xbox One, I believe, for the rest of the month. In anticipation of Crackdown 3, which also got a new trailer, a multiplayer campaign trailer. It seems like that game's actually going to finally come out in 2019. I swear, when I was a freshman in high school, I think this game was announced. This game's been announced for a long fucking time. People have been waiting. If I was a fan of the Crackdown series, I couldn't imagine waiting this long. And they haven't really gotten much. The game went through development hell. I'm pretty sure they restarted the entire game 2 or 3 times. They got Terry Crews on board just to kind of keep the hype going for it, because after you've announced a game for 4 years or so, there comes a certain point where the hype just dies and people just don't give a fuck anymore. I think that's kind of what's going on with Kojima with Death Stranding. He announced the game before it even had a fucking engine, and that's a problem, right? People are gonna lose excitement over time. Kojima's been doing a good job of keeping us intrigued because we don't know exactly what's going on. But for Crackdown 3, it's just not the same thing. People aren't as excited about Crackdown 3. Right now, I believe they got a release date in February 2019. I think it'll finally come out. I don't think there's going to be any more delays. I've never played a Crackdown game. I have it downloaded on Xbox One. I might do a quick video on that later on down the line. But go ahead and copy yourself a free copy of Crackdown on the Xbox One through its backwards compatibility shit. And if you're a PC gamer, get on this shit now, because I don't know how long this is going to be open. Hitman 2 is free on Steam, the entire game. I have it downloaded. I'm looking at it right now. Hitman 2. I don't know if this is a bug. I couldn't really find much information. I'm refreshing Hitman 2's page here, and I'm not seeing shit. I don't know if people are just being super quiet about this, if it was a Steam bug. But I don't see anyone reporting on Hitman 2 being free on Steam. I don't know how long it's been like this. I just was actually browsing Steam and saw Hitman 2 for free, and I saw some people on a Reddit post talking about it. But if you're on Steam, like I said, even if you don't have a good PC right now, I don't know if my PC can run Hitman 2 very well. Go ahead and get that shit in your library, because I don't know if they have a way to make it, to figure out who downloaded it when it was free. But as of right now, I have full access to Hitman 2 completely for free. So go ahead and download Hitman 2 if you're on PC. It's fucking just came out, $60 game. I don't know if this is a little quick advertising thing that they're doing for Steam, hey, cop it while you can, or if it's a bug. I genuinely think it's a bug on Steam's end, but go ahead and download Hitman 2, add it to your Steam library for free. Moving on through the gaming news, we got PUBG on PS4 releasing December 7th. Finally, PUBG's coming to PS4. If you guys I imagine the hype's kind of died down for PUBG. It's been out on Xbox for almost a year now, I believe. I think it came out, right about this time with the Game Awards coming on in 2017. So, it's been out on Xbox for a while. It was a buggy mess on Xbox. I'm hoping it launches better on PS4. I imagine it will. The PS4 genuinely has the better hardline or the better hardware now, other than, the Xbox One X. But, I think developers have said that it's easier to program games for PS4. It's easier to make them on there, and genuinely, like a base Xbox compared to a base PS4, which is what most consumers will have, is, the PS4 is a little bit more powerful. Not much more powerful, but it's a little bit more powerful. But it'll be coming out on PS4 on December 7th, and along with it, it'll have an Uncharted 3 Nathan Drake skin. Literally looks like Uncharted. It's literally just a Nathan Drake skin. He's got his like desert skin. And then you can also get Ellie's backpack from The Last of Us, which is kind of cool. That's cool. Little exclusive touches like that. I don't think Xbox really has anything. Maybe there's an Xbox, like a Microsoft shirt that you can get in game. But besides that, I'm not really sure of anything on Xbox's end. But if you guys have been waiting for PUBG to come out on PS4, if you're still craving a battle royale mode, I mean, just go play Blackout on Black Ops 4. It's a lot better than PUBG. But if you want to hop on PUBG on PS4, it comes out the 7th. Yeah. Moving on through it, gaming news, we got the Game Awards show, 2018 Game Awards announcements for Game of the Year. I'm going to run through the contenders real quick for Game of the Year. We have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm not familiar with Celeste. I'll have to do some research on Celeste. I'm not familiar with it. I know a lot of people were saying like that they're glad Celeste is getting recognized and stuff. I'll have to do some research, see if it's really that great of a game. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a huge game. I've put like 60 hours into it and haven't beaten it yet. Unfortunately, I didn't beat it before Red Dead 2 came out, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back and play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Red Dead has eaten up all of my time. God of War was a decent game. I really didn't feel the hype for God of War. I felt like it was a lot of, I like to call it Oscar bait. Everything was done super cinematic like. It's kind of a Marvel, or not a Marvel, it's kind of a Sony thing. The Last of Us is like an Oscar bait game. Everything's just done super cinematically, almost to the point of, like it's contending for an Oscar. I played through the entirety of God of War. It wasn't, I don't have fond memories of God of War. I know some people do. It was like, I think it got a 10 out of 10 on IGN. People really enjoyed God of War, but I really just don't have much fond memories of God of War. I wasn't the biggest fan of the game. Marvel's Spider-Man. I really like this game. I platinumed it. This is like the 4th game that I've ever platinumed. I think I have 2 Telltale games that I've platinumed, which those don't really count. I platinumed Titanfall 2, and then I have platinumed Marvel Spider-Man. I love this game to death. So good, and it's only getting better as the DLC comes out, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. I really enjoyed Marvel Spider-Man. It's a little short. It definitely doesn't have as much content as something like Assassin's Creed Odyssey or God of War or Red Dead or even Monster Hunter. It's pretty much one of the least amount of content per $60 game on here, but as a huge Spider-Man fan, I loved it. And with Stan Lee's passing, we might get it might get a little bit bumped up in terms of like how well it performs at the game for a Game of the Year. They might recognize it as one of like the big deals. Stan Lee got to see his creation. Like Spider-Man was a big deal for Stan Lee. He got to see one of his creations get turned into an incredible cinematic masterpiece, in my opinion, of a video game. I really enjoyed Marvel Spider-Man, but I've talked about it enough. Monster Hunter World, I never got the chance to really get into. I haven't been a big Monster Hunter fan, but I know it got like outstanding reviews, especially on PC. People really loved Monster Hunter World. I don't think it'll take home Game of the Year, but it was it was worthy of being nominated. The fans out there for Monster Hunter really loved this one. And then Red Dead 2, that's, looking back on it, it's probably going to get Game of the Year. I don't know if it's my personal Game of the Year, but it seems like anytime a Rockstar Games game comes out, it always secures the Game of the Year slot. So those are the rundowns. I imagine, Red Dead's going to get the Game of the Year. And, it probably deserves it. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a fantastic game. I put like 80 hours into it. I love the game. It's great. And that's coming from someone who did not play the original Red Dead. Like, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a great game. So those are the Game of the Year nominee announcements. Moving on, we got some Fallout 76 stuff. Bethesda straight out came out and said Fallout 76 is going to be trash at launch. It's going to be a mess. They've pretty much said, here's the thing. They had a beta like 10 days before the game launched. That's not a beta. That's a demo at that point, okay? you're not going to be able to fix shit on this huge game in 10 days. And the beta was pretty buggy from some people I've seen, I've heard of, and you can't uninstall the beta. When someone bought the game on PC, they got like 3 extra beta codes to give friends. You know, Bethesda's like, this is a multiplayer game. We want people to be able to get their friends in here and play with them. So you pre-order the game, you get 3 codes to give to your friends. If your friends downloaded the game with a code you gave them, they can't uninstall the beta because it doesn't recognize that they own the beta, so they can't uninstall it. Like, this game is a buggy mess right now. There's the whole thing where Bethesda had to tell people, don't press any buttons on PC or it'll like pretty much delete the entire fucking game and you'll have to re-download this huge beta. Excuse me, one take. You know, it's going to be trash at launch. I'm not picking it up day one. That's for damn sure. I'm not picking up this game day one, especially not with everything else that's out right now, like Red Dead and Assassin's Creed Odyssey that I need to get caught up on, and Marvel Spider-Man DLC coming out soon. Like, there's just no room in my schedule for Fallout 76. I'm not really interested in it. I'm not the biggest Fallout fan. Fallout 4 was cool. I can't play Fallout 3 because it won't run on Windows 10, and I don't feel like fucking modding it up. But, you know, I'll play it one day when it's in a bargain bin, because I'm expecting I'm calling it the No Man's Sky situation, right? Like, it starts off just absolute trash. Like, it's gonna launch horrible. This launch is gonna be something like hilarious to watch. This launch isn't gonna be good, but you know, over time, No Man's Sky's gotten better. Maybe Fallout 76 will get better over time. That's what I'm expecting. It'll get better over time. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys picking up Fallout 76 day one? Let me know in the comments. Battlefield 5 reviews are out. It is sitting at an 84 on Metacritic for PC. I haven't actually played it myself. I'm pretty sure if you pre-ordered it or if you got it through, so this game's got so many fucking release dates. How come the games can't just have one release date? There's some way you can be playing it like 5 days early, so people are playing it right now. From what I've heard, you know, it's got an 84 on Metacritic. Multiplayer seems to actually be really good. I've watched a lot of what's his name? Jack Frags. I watched a lot of his Battlefield 5 videos. He seems to really enjoy the multiplayer aspect of the game. He really likes it. I've heard the single player is pretty lackluster. It's not as good as it was in Battlefield 1. It really wasn't. I'm a big single player gamer myself, but when it comes to like Battlefield, Call of Duty, Titanfall, any of the big 3 multiplayer online shooters, I don't expect much in terms of the single player. But you know, I was pleasantly surprised by Battlefield 1's single player. I was hoping it would translate over, but I haven't played it myself. I'm not going to give too much of a critique on it. You know, I've heard a lot of old school Battlefield players saying that the multiplayer is really good and it's a return to form for the series. And I know I've heard a lot of single player people say that, you know, the single player was just a disappointment to them. So pick up Battlefield 5 at your own will. You know, maybe wait for the price to drop a little bit. Wait for more reviews to come out for it. Moving on to Spider-Man PS4 move DLC, the second DLC, Turf Wars. There was a new trailer and some new skins were shown off. The 3 new skins are going to be the Spider Armor Mark 1, which is like the silver suit with all the armor built on, which is pretty fucking cool. I like it. And this is my favorite one, the original Iron Spider suit from the comic books. Like the gold going through it is like a cloth material. This suit looks so fucking clean in the game, right? Like I thought the Iron Spider suit from Infinity War that was in the game was really cool. But I'm not going to touch that shit once I get the original Iron Spider suit. Like, it looks, it's fucking clean. I love it, especially being a comic book reader. I'm not a huge comic book reader, but I've read some stories with Peter Parker having the original Iron Spider suit, and I fucking love the fact that it made it into this game. And then there's a new animated suit. Looks kind of cool. I'm not a big fan for the animated suits, but it's cool that there's a second one in the game. I believe that Spider-Man PS4 DLC 2 Turf Wars drops the 20th, so here in just like 7 days. And don't expect this to come out at midnight. That's a mistake I made with the first DLC. I waited up till midnight to play it. Turns out that the PSN store doesn't update for DLC. It only updates for major games at midnight. So I had to end up waiting the next day to play the DLC. I sat there at midnight and kept refreshing my PlayStation, and I couldn't get it to download, and they confirmed on Twitter that it'll update in the morning. PSN doesn't update at midnight for DLCs, unfortunately. So don't be waiting up to play this game like I did. Moving on, I'm talking about some overkills, The Walking Dead. Now, here's something really disappointing about this game. I'm such a big The Walking Dead fan, right? I used to read all the comics. I've fallen off of them recently. You know, they've gotten really slow. just got caught back up with the TV show. I remember, like, Overkill's The Walking Dead was announced, like, low-key announced 5 years ago or some shit like that, like, back in 2014, 2013. And I remember I was, like, a freshman in high school, and I was so excited to play Overkill's The Walking Dead. I was like, yo, this is going to be fucking amazing. From the people that made Payday. And right now, man, this game is such a disappointment. It's sitting at a 56 on Metacritic for PC. It is such a disappointment. This game was announced, like, when it wasn't announced until about a year ago, like, officially with the trailer and everything. But when people found out that Overkill was making a Walking Dead game, like, when they very first started on it, you know, I was so excited for this. You know, people who made Payday making a Walking Dead game. Unfortunately, it's just it seems like it's a bad Left 4 Dead clone. It's not very, the reviews have been very bad. You know, the sales on it, I imagine, aren't too high. You know, it seems like they just threw the Walking Dead title on it for name brand, you know, recognition, and they wanted to make a Left 4 Dead style game. It's a disappointment. You know, the whole point of The Walking Dead is these great stories about these great characters, and, you know, this is just a shoot 'em up. So it's pretty disappointing. So I'd stay clear of Overkill's The Walking Dead, if you're a Walking Dead fan. Maybe check it out if you're a Left 4 Dead fan, but if you're a major Walking Dead fan, I'd kind of stay away from Overkill's The Walking Dead. Moving on, the PS1 Classic. This is the little mini version of the PS1. Hooks up HDMI into your TVs. Comes loaded with like 21 pre games that are on it. Classic PlayStation 1 games. The lineup has been revealed. I'm going to go over some of the highlights of them. We got Final Fantasy VII, Grand Theft Auto, Metal Gear Solid, Rayman, Resident Evil, Tekken 3, and Tom Clancy's Wildlands. Did I say that wrong? Is it not Wildlands? I don't think it's fucking Tom Clancy's Wildlands. PS1 Classic lineup. I'm pretty sure it's not Tom Clancy's Wildlands. I'm pretty sure I wrote that wrong. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. I don't know why the fuck I wrote Tom Clancy's Wildlands. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Had that wrong on my script there. So out of all these games, you know, I've never played. Have I played any of these? I've played Resident Evil Remake, and that's about it. You know, Final Fantasy VII I've heard is amazing. I could get it, you know, pretty easily. I'm pretty sure I could get it on my PS4. I've never been a big Final Fantasy fan, but shit, I'll check it out. Grand Theft Auto, the original, I've heard has not aged very well. It's like the original top-down Grand Theft Auto. Excuse me. Heard it has not aged very well at all, but, you know, it's gonna check it out for sure to see, like, the origins of a great franchise. Metal Gear Solid. I haven't always been the biggest Metal Gear fan. I've played Metal Gear Solid 5. I've actually played all of them. I just haven't beaten every single one. I've played all of them. I've even played the original a little bit, but I'll hop into it, see what it's all about. It looks, I mean, it'll be fun. Rayman, I haven't ever played. Haven't ever had much interest in the series, but I know a lot of people love it. The original Resident Evil, I played the remake, but I'm super excited to actually play, like, the original Resident Evil. Like, it's gonna look shitty, and I'm all about it. Like, I want the campiness. I want to experience what everyone else has been talking about for years. Tekken 3, I'm not a big fighting game fan, but, you know, a lot of people are, and Tekken 3 is supposed to be a very good Tekken. You know, the new one just came out, so, you know, check it out. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. I'm a huge Tom Clancy fan. I've heard this one hasn't aged very well at all either, but we will check it out and see how it's going once the PS1 Classic actually comes out. Moving on to the final gaming news of the week, Diablo Immortal was announced at BlizzCon. Holy fucking shit! I need a drink of water. I can't talk with shit. Goddamn. Diablo Immortal was announced at BlizzCon. Fuck me, I'm gonna stop saying BlizzCon. Was announced at BlizzCon, and it was a huge failure. They literally were getting booed on stage when a fan asked them if, you know, someone asked them. You know, he was very polite about it too. He wasn't like an asshole. He's not like, really, you guys are making a fucking mobile game, you're not bringing it to console or to PC, because that's where the majority of the fan base is on PC. He asked them simply, you know, we understand you're making a mobile game. Is there any plans to bring it to other platforms, maybe PC, maybe console in the future? And they said no, and then they got booed at, and they literally replied with, do you guys not have phones? Like, that is so shitty of Blizzard to say. Like, that guy right there needs to be fucking fired. You are not entitled to your customers' money, and they are not entitled to your game. You know, there's people out there that have spent years playing Diablo 2. You know, Diablo 2 came out a long time. Let me see. What fucking year did Diablo 2 come out? Diablo 2, which was the best one in the series, a lot of people say. It came out in the year 2000, 18 years ago. When did the original Diablo come out? Diablo Hellfire came out in 1997. There's fans of the game that have been playing Diablo since 1997. And, Blizzard had been teasing people up until BlizzCon about a Diablo announcement. Apparently, they have several Diablo projects in the works. Everyone thought that it was going to be a Diablo 4 announcement. There's people that literally bought plane tickets, man, and flew to BlizzCon. Huge Diablo fans to be there in person when Diablo 4 gets announced. Diablo 3 was kind of a letdown in the series, according to fans. I've played it a little bit. I thought it was fun, but fans, Diablo 2 was the shit to everyone. They want a Diablo 2 remake. Everyone loved Diablo 2. And, talking about being fan, I've seen a lot of people like, oh, you're not entitled to Blizzard's games. They don't make games specifically for you. But when they were on stage and they asked, like, do you not have phones? Like, speaking of entitlement, like, that's Blizzard just straight up, like, thinking they're entitled to their customers' money by releasing this shit. Fans were outraged. I loved watching the stream chat when this shit was announced. The Twitch chat was crazy. Everyone was fucking hating on this game. It is made by NetEase in association with Blizzard, and apparently NetEase has a game just like Diablo. And people are afraid that this is just going to be a clone, a Diablo reskin of that. I've never been the biggest Diablo fan. I've never been a huge Diablo fan at all. I've always been a big Blizzard fan. I played World of Warcraft for a lot of years. That game kind of consumed my life. And no, I like Blizzard. They make beautiful cinematics. They make really good games. Overwatch is a fun game. But man, they've really, to make this game and to expect people to be that excited about this game, just shows you how out of touch they are with their fan base right now. They really need to get that Diablo 4 announcement out, because I'm sure Diablo 4, the full game, is in the works. There's rumors out there on Kotaku, I believe, reported that it was apparently it was supposed to get presented, and the team decided they weren't ready, and they pulled it at the very last minute. I couldn't imagine being a huge fan, flying all the way out to BlizzCon, spending hundreds of dollars, getting a plane ticket, a hotel room, Uber rides out there, paying for meals. That shit adds up quick when you go out to California. And people, they go out there expecting, like, this is the game they've been waiting, 18 years for. And they get treated with Diablo Immortal. Like, I would be fucking pissed. But I've spoken enough about this. Let me know. Are you guys going to be playing Diablo Immortal? I'll probably check it out. I don't know how they're going to monetize it. Is it going to be a $60 phone game? Probably not. They've been saying it's a full Diablo experience. Is it going to be a $30 phone game? Probably not. It's probably going to have I'll tell you right goddamn now, it's going to have microtransactions. The auction house in Diablo 3 was fucking horrible. I can't wait to see the auction house in Diablo Immortal. But you know what? That's the end of the gaming news. Let me know, what have you guys been playing this last week? Let me know in the comments below. Me and myself have been playing a lot of Red Dead. I've been hopping into Black Ops 4 occasionally. Red Dead's kind of consumed my life, I'm not going to lie. Moving on to movies and TV. Rest in peace to Stan Lee. He passed away Monday. What fucking day is today? Today's Tuesday. He passed away yesterday, November 12th, early in the morning on Monday. He was rushed to the hospital. He lived an amazing life, though. I'm not going to say it was too soon. He lived to be 95 years old. In being an Army guy myself, he was a sergeant in the Army, back in World War II. So, rest easy, Stan Lee. We appreciate everything you did. He literally impacted millions of people's lives. He lived a great life, and his Avengers 4 cameo has already been filmed. The Russo brothers, I believe, came out and already clarified that his cameo has already been filmed. His last cameo apparently will be in Avengers 4, so can't wait to see that. I guarantee you the theater's gonna bust out crying when Stan Lee's final cameo comes on. But he lived a great life. Rest in peace, Stan Lee. Lived to be 95 years old. Rest in peace. Moving on, The Walking Dead, my overall season 9 thoughts. I wanted to give them, because I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, and I fell off at the start of season 9. I hadn't watched a lot of season 9, and I was kind of wondering to myself why, and I hopped back into it yesterday and watched like 4 episodes last night, and then I finished the last 2 today. And I gotta say, episodes 1 through 5 of season 9, I kind of liked it. It had like a kind of a Cold War vibe going on. I wish they would have delved deeper into that. Sending spies into other communities to make sure that the saviors aren't going to betray them and shit. Like, that would have been kind of badass. I kind of liked it. I don't understand Maggie's whole purpose with spoilers, by the way. I don't understand Maggie's whole purpose with going out and she like having to see Negan die. I've personally always been on the side of like anti-death penalty. Not that I don't think people that deserve to die. I've always been on the view that like spending your life in prison, living day to day in a 4 foot by 4 foot cell is like worse than death. I've always viewed death as like too easy of an outcome for people like Negan who have done horrible crimes. So I don't know. That's just a different point of view that Maggie Rhee has than what I personally have. I felt like that subplot was just stupid. As well as the Oceanside people hunting down and killing saviors that wronged them. Like, they're just causing trouble. But, Daryl and I think it was Sasha just kind of walked away from that. And, Rick's final moments. We got to talk about that. I still don't know who the fuck was in the helicopter, but I want to know. And apparently, he lived. He blew the bridge, which, I mean, I really didn't care too much, but I did tear up when Daryl Norman Reedus's like performance right after the bridge blew. Like, Daryl could have rushed that bridge, grabbed him, and go, but like Rick was giving him, the hand sign. Like, he's good. He knows what he's doing. He had that shit. And Daryl, he held back. He shot a couple walkers down that were getting close, but he knew that Rick wanted to do it. After losing Carl, Rick didn't have much to, he had a lot to live for. He has Judith, but Daryl knew what he was doing. And then the trash lady, I don't remember her name. She found, I think it was Ann. She found Rick downstream, called in the helicopter that was right there, said she had a B instead of an A, whatever the fuck that means. I don't know if they're going to the Commonwealth. That's kind of where I stopped reading in the comics, was when they found the Commonwealth. But wherever they're going, it sounds fucked up. Like, she trades people for resources. Like, it sounds kind of fucked up. But she's been dealing with them for a long time, and now I guess Rick's story is going to be finished up in a movie or a trilogy of movies centering around him. I hope he comes back into the show eventually. I really do. I think the actor might just need a break, and he's just Andrew Lincoln's taking a break, and he'll come back eventually older. Excuse me, y'all. My throat fucking hurts from talking this much. Goddamn. I think Andrew Lincoln just needs a break. That wasn't the send-off that Rick Grimes deserved, especially not with him still being alive. But the most interesting part of Season 9, the part that I've been waiting for, was in Episode 6. There's a 6-year time jump. And, like, man, when Judith Grimes at the end of... Man, is it at the end of the end of Episode 5 where we see Judith? I think it's the start of Episode 6. Where, like, it's the start of Episode 6. She, takes out, like... You see Magnus group of them, they're sitting there, and like Judith Grimes alone just comes in and like shoots 3 walkers with fucking Rick Grimes' big ass revolver, which would break her fucking hand. And she's got her hat on, she's got a little mini katana, it's so fucking cute. And Judith, like, the child actor, I don't know who it is that plays her, but is very, very talented. Like, that is some good acting coming from a 10-year-old. Like, I imagine she's really 10 years old, or if not younger in real life. Very, very well done acting on the child's part. And, I'm really excited to see where Judith goes. She's probably the character that I'm most interested in right now. I think that a Rick Grimes-less The Walking Dead can continue as long as it focuses on a member of the Grimes family, who right now we have Judith, and, Judith and Michonne and Rick's baby, who we haven't seen much of. But those are the 2 people that we have right now, and I'm pretty excited to see where they go in the future with it. I always wanted the old man Rick. Or not old man Rick, old man Carl. He's got Rick's revolver, he's got Negan's bat, he's got his hat, and he's just walking around with a full-grown beard, 60-some years old, just killing walkers. But I'm down for old lady Judith. Like, that would be badass too. She's already got the little katana going. She's got Carl's hat, she's got Rick's revolver. And I'm excited to see where her relationship with Negan goes. She's sitting outside, Negan's helping her with her fucking math homework. She's doing some question with airplanes, and Negan's just like, are you ever gonna see a fucking airplane? Like, what's the point? Like Negan, and she's a little smart ass to Negan. Like, I like the relationship in the comics between Carl and Negan after Negan's imprisoned, but I can't wait to see the way that Negan treats and reacts and acts with a little 10-year-old Judith Grimes. I'm really excited about that. That's enough for talking about The Walking Dead. We'll talk more about the next episode next episode of the podcast. We'll talk about the next episode of The Walking Dead. How's that sound? South Park, season 22. I think it's episode 6 as well. Was released, and I always have been a big fan of South Park. In this episode, there's literally just people going around. They're dealing with school shootings and shit. And I'm not going to talk about South Park much because there's really not much to dive into. But if you're a big fan of South Park, this last episode was fucking amazing. If you're a gamer too, everyone's just trying to play Red Dead Redemption 2. It's fucking great. I loved it. I fell off of South Park the last couple seasons, but I'm definitely back in again. South Park, this season 22 has been really good so far. So if you've fallen off of South Park, jump back in. We might talk about the next episode that comes out tomorrow on the next episode of the podcast. I don't know if I want to keep talking about South Park, but for sure check it out. Moving on with movies and TV. Avengers 4, the runtime has been announced. As of now, it sits at the longest MCU movie ever at 3 hours exactly, they said. I'm sure that'll be cut down. They don't want to release a 3-hour movie, but fuck. Like, that is a long-ass movie. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sit in the theater from fucking 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. I'm going to have to get up and take a piss at some point. There better be, like, every hour in there, or at least halfway through the movie, there better be a little intermission. They're like, go pee now before you see Thanos get fucking killed. Yeah, I hope it stays that long, though, because there's a lot of story to tell in the final Avengers movie. I'm really excited to see where it goes. Just thought I'd share with you guys the runtime was kind of announced in. I'm sure it's not going to stick to 3 hours, but that's what they're at right now. And I'm really fucking excited to see, how long it actually ends up being. I'm sure it'll probably be the longest MCU movie we've ever seen. And if you're a J.J. Abrams fan, Overlord was just released. It's sitting at an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm actually going to go see it after I get done filming this podcast. It literally looks like Castle Wolfenstein and Call of Duty Nazi Zombies had a baby. It looks really fucking good. It's sitting at an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like I said, I'm excited to go see it. If you're on the edge of, you haven't decided about watching Overlord yet, definitely I'd say go take the risk. It's sitting at an 80%. If it looks interesting to you, go see it. Let me know what you think. And finishing off movies and TVs, we have Game of Thrones. The final season will be released will start in April of 2019. That's coming up. So it's the final season of Game of Thrones. I personally am not a big Game of Thrones fan, but I thought I'd throw that in there for those of you that are, because I know that this season's been filming for a long time. I'm pretty sure there's one fight scene that they announced. They filmed one entire huge fight scene that took them like 57 days and nights to film. Like, this final season is going to be really fucking good, I guarantee it. Even though I'm not a fan, like, I can respect what they're doing with this final season. It's probably going to be very good. And that's all I got on my notes, guys. We're just hit a half hour. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this, hopefully this killed a half hour of your day. If you're trying to fall asleep, hopefully, this shit will put you to sleep. Listen to me talk. If you're in a car ride, drive safe, get to where you're going. I appreciate anyone who comes through and watches. If you guys want to maybe get in on a podcast, go ahead, let me know in the comments below. If you guys got any questions for me, anything you guys want to hear me discuss in the next episode, let me know. I'll probably give it a week to 2 weeks. I'll just drop these whenever. I don't think I'm going to do these on a weekly basis. But let me know in the comments below what you guys want to hear about next time. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you so much for watching.